But if you do say it, you're capturing attention for the wrong reasons, and like you're not being entirely forthright. And like it's a balance, right? Um, yeah, I hear you.
It of course depends as well what you're offering or selling. Like, of course, if you're promoting the next crypto coin that's actually built on a pyramid scheme of getting more people on it, then that strategy works for you. But if you build something for trust, like you do it, like a business is there that handles people's money and finances, we have to avoid using those techniques just for the attention grabbing and to get more listeners and such. I think here the long term game and
Yeah.
true story and a true messaging is much more important.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the difference between being transactional and relational. I think just me being in my line of business, I over index for being relational. I want ideally the investor to be very happy that they tell their friends about it, that they invest with us again and again, instead of like, hey, like, once the sale is done, you're done, right? Whereas like a lot of people, well, decent amount on social media, they're selling their I don't know, their coaching program or something like that. They don't really care, and that's where the disconnect sometimes happens.
Leo, final question. Who should I invite next to this podcast?
Let me look at the guests that I've interviewed on my podcast. I think there's a couple with interesting stories that can definitely benefit your audience a lot. Yeah, I'll message you a couple of names afterwards.
Yeah. Let me rephrase the question. What should
Okay.
our listeners hear? What type of industry? What type of insight? What is something that you've heard? Say like, wow, that's cool to hear. Or maybe something that you haven't heard and you want to listen.
Yeah, so I think, and at the risk of sounding self-serving, I think people should look into private equity a lot more. And I say self-serving because it's kind of like a catch-22, right? Like I'm in this space because I believe in it so much, rather than like, hey, look, I'm trying to sell something. I really don't care. But the private equity industry is something that's been popping off like a lot in the past 10, 15 years. There's at least in the US, there's been laws that have changed that allow essentially individuals to invest. Like what I mentioned earlier, these used to be reserved for large family offices like private equity shops, things like that, to invest, like foreign funds. But now individuals can do it. And, it deserves a certain allocation in your portfolio. And, matter of figuring out like how much it is, like, and like educating yourself of it. Because, those are the people that get ahead. I mean, I would never be able to, reach my financial independence through like investing in Coca-Cola or like dividend stocks. Like the dividends are not enough. The returns are just too low, and they get taxed. It's not efficient. So private equity is something that's coming up, and people should be informed about.
That's a great point. Yeah, because private equity usually was not accessible if you're not a millionaire, basically. So if we find more of solutions like yours, that's wonderful. I mean, I started investing a bit in an ETF, in an index fund, where you have exposure, but it's again big corporations doing those private equity investments. So it's not this direct investment. You get a bit of exposure, but yeah, great. I will do some deep dive and research and see what we can do on this topic here on the show.
Sounds
Leo,
good.
Leo, thank you so much. It was really a big pleasure talking to you. Um, yeah, hope to catch up with you soon. Maybe one day in the Austrian mountains,
Yeah.
and maybe I come and visit you one day in the US and see
Yeah.
one of your wonderful projects.
Yes. I'll come visit you. We'll have some glue vine or something.